Chapter 3, Section 3, Using Formulas. Our objective today is to use formulas to solve problems. First of all, what is a formula? A formula is an algebraic equation that describes a relationship between two or more variables. For example, we have the formula rate times time equals distance. It's probably one of the more common formulas that you'll use in everyday life. So the abbreviation that you'll see quite often is R times T equals D, where R equals rate, T equals time, and D equals distance. So if we have 60 miles per hour and we drive for 5 hours, what's our distance? Well, we can cross out those out, and that leaves us 300 miles in 5 hours. So let's use that formula D equals R times T to find how far a wildebeest can travel in 5 seconds. Well, you need to know how fast a wildebeest can travel. Luckily, we have such information, and a wildebeest can travel at a speed of 73.3 feet per second. So we'll start with D is equal to R times T, and what do we know? We know the rate is 73.3 feet per second, and we know the seconds, the time. So we'll go 73.3 times 5, which means that a wildebeest can travel 365.5 feet in 5 seconds, which when you think about it is over a whole football field's length. So they're moving pretty fast. Would you use the formula to find how far a chicken can travel in 5 seconds? Go ahead, pause the video, see if you can figure out the speed of a chicken. Okay, so again we're using our formula D equals R times T. We know the speed. We know how fast or how long it's going to travel, 5 seconds. We just need to figure out the distance. So we're going to do 13.2 times 5, which means that in 5 seconds, a chicken can travel 66 feet. Not quite as fast as a wildebeest, but still moving pretty fast. Have you ever tried catching a chicken? They're quick little suckers. Next, some other formulas. Perimeter and area formulas. Some of these you should be familiar with. So we're going to have a figure, the perimeter, and the area. So if we have a square, it has sides. And remember, for a square, all the sides are the same. So the perimeter would be equal to 4 times s. To find the area of a square, you take the side and square it. Next shape we have is a rectangle. And they usually have a length and a width. Well, to find the perimeter, you have 2 lengths and 2 widths, so you could go 2 times L plus 2 times W, basically walking around the edge of the rectangle. To find the area, it's going to be length times width. Our next shape is a parallelogram. Now, a parallelogram is basically a rectangle that's kind of been kicked over, so it's been shifted. So it's really the same thing as a rectangle, but we're going to do base times the height because we want it to kind of look like a rectangle. And we'll call that side A. So to find the perimeter, we have the left and right sides and we have the top and the bottom, so we have 2A plus 2B. To find the area, it's going to be base times height. For a triangle, well, this isn't a triangle, but hold on a second here. How about if we cut it in half? So that gives me, now I've got a triangle, but I got that other part that's in there too. So let's get rid of it. So remember, for a parallelogram, it was base times height, but, actually before I do that, let's do perimeter. So we've got 3 sides of a triangle, so it would be A plus B plus C. Now let's go to the area. Remember, parallelogram was base times height, but we only have half a parallelogram, so let's do base times height divided by 2. So let's use our formulas to find the perimeter and area of the figure below. First of all, what kind of figure is this? Hopefully you're thinking parallelogram. So what was our formula for a parallelogram? For the perimeter, it was the 2 sides plus the 2 bases. For, in this case, 2 times 6 plus 2 times 7 gives me 12 and 14. Add them up. We're following order of operations here. Remember, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally or PEMDAS, whatever makes you happy. And for our perimeter, we get 26 inches. You do want to label it inches so that we know we're talking a distance. Imagine being a little ant and crawling along the edge, along the line of the parallelogram. You would travel 26 inches. For the area, it's base times height. What's my base? What's my height here? Base is 7, height is 5. Multiply those together, we get 35. Notice this time, though, that it is inches squared. The squared is telling us that we're talking about area. Would you pause the video and try to find the perimeter and the area of this figure? When you've done that, go ahead and unpause it and we'll go from there. Okay, hopefully you know that's a triangle. And to find the perimeter of a triangle, we add up all 3 sides. So we're going to go 5 plus 6 plus 9. And it's going to be 20. Again, make sure to label it centimeters. And then for the area, remember the area of a triangle is found by doing base times height divided by 2. Well, my base is 9 and my height is 3. So I'll do 9 times 3 divided by 2. Which means 27 divided by 2, which means I get 13.5 centimeters squared. Again, we want to make sure we put the squared so that we know we're talking about area. Here's a new formula. Sometimes you might need to convert from Fahrenheit to Celsius. And those are temperatures because they have different temperatures. In Celsius, 0 degrees is where it freezes. In Fahrenheit, it's about 32 degrees. And at 100 degrees Celsius, water boils. And I'll be honest, I don't remember what the temperature is for Fahrenheit. Post it in Edmodo and let me know. So, if the temperature is 27 degrees Celsius, what is it in Fahrenheit? Here's our formula. Take the 27 degrees Celsius, plug it in for the C. So we'll have Fahrenheit is equal to 1.8 times 27 plus 32. So we get 80.6 degrees Fahrenheit. Would you try this one, please? Okay, here's our formula. Plug it in. This time we'll get 75.2 degrees Fahrenheit. Next one. I believe this is the last one. If the temperature is 19 degrees Celsius, what is it in Fahrenheit? Please take a moment and try to solve that. Okay, remember our formula is F is equal to 1.8C plus 32. So we'll take the 19 degrees Celsius, plug it in for C, which gives us 1.8 times 19 plus 32. If we multiply those two together, then add, we get 66.2 degrees Fahrenheit. And that's it. If you have any questions, please post them on Edmodo, and I'll be happy to help you. Thank you. Goodbye.